Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I see you soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
We won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right. It's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart. Doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this? Now you cannot go
Baby,
here.
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, come on in, you guys. I know it's Saturday, but you guys, I keep trying to tell you guys, what be on my mind all the time. Last night I could not sleep, and Naziah was on my heart. Naziah was on my mind. I tossed, I turned, on my day off. I don't know what it is. And, I wanted to call somebody up and, hey, let's talk about Naziah. I didn't do it. I waited till early this morning. I done something like that and I called somebody. But anyway, you guys, it's just, I don't know if it's Naziah. I've been staying in prayer. Somebody told me I probably need to fast. But and good afternoon. And good afternoon to everybody. I see people that came in the building. Let me see here. Because, if nobody would have came, you know what? I would have been sitting over here talking about Naziah by myself. I have no clue. But it just seems to me like, and I'm going to tell you guys something, as a YouTube creator or a content creator or having a channel, whatever you say it is, some people say it's a way to vent. Some people, it's just connecting with people that have the same interests. That's why if there's another YouTube channel out there and, I may be going, where are they going with this or whatever? But you don't hear me say something negative. You know why? They may know something I don't know. And not only that, I don't know what they're doing. I don't have a clue. I do know the main thing that I have seen is, and I do support it 100%. Say something, you know. So when if a channel's out there and they're making content, and I mean, there's all kind of content out there, all kind of topics we could talk about. We could talk about this child. We could talk about that child. We can go back in history and talk about King Hill, Braylon, Malia, Cupcake. I mean, you guys understand what I'm saying? But if you really pay attention to, there's certain children that we're drawn to, and it's almost like you just cannot let go. I say hello to everybody that came in the chat. Evelyn came in here first. Monique was in here. Sanja Watts is in the building. Sanjay. Ruby Turner's in the house. Danielle. Janet's in the house. Hey, Janet. Olivia B. Mary Ann. Hey, Mary Ann. Haven't seen you in a while. Cynthia's in the building. Connie Branch is in here. Everybody come in, say hi. Hit that thumbs up. Share. Like the video. If you don't, you know what to do. But it is very strange to me that, sometimes I may get something before other people. I may not say it, but you know it. And sometimes they may get it before I get it. But I definitely support every channel that they bring out Naziah information, whether they got it right or whether they got it wrong. I support them 100%. You know what I mean? Not because, I believe in everything they say, whatever. You know what I mean? But because there's so many people out there that is not trying to make a change, make a difference, put some light on to the children, what's happening to the children. And maybe their content may be about cooking a pie or, walking a dog. I mean, sometimes we will go out in the morning, and I probably need to do that. I probably need to get off here. It rained last night, so I probably need to get up, put the leash on Diesel, and go take him for a walk. But I'm going to tell you guys something. On this case with Naziah, I shake my head. I'll be walking. I'll be in the store. I'll be at home watching something. And it just, little things come in my head. And it's hard for me to decipher why I'm thinking about this child 24/7. I have no clue. And I am, waiting for a sign or waiting for a vision I have not got. Because I've done had visions. I don't know how to control them, but I've had them before. But it's never been about a child. It's been about me. But, and if I ever did, which I said I only had it like maybe twice or something. One was a dream and one was a vision. But I knew to respond accordingly to the vision. I know it was true. I know I'm not crazy. And it didn't matter what nobody said to me. I stood on what I seen in the vision. And I knew it was a vision because I wasn't asleep. You guys understand? That's the only way I know it was a vision. I was like, what the heck? It's like I just seen a movie right in front of me, just standing in daylight, like it's morning time. I think I came in, I had to put some groceries away. And then I just I zoomed in on the wall, which was a picture of, and it's weird because people always tell you not to have pictures of Christ, but you know what I'm saying. It was a black Jesus that I have in my kitchen dining area, and or was it the Last Supper? I can't remember what it is, but I think it was no. It was the picture of Black Jesus or something. I believe it was. And then I had candles, 3 candles going on one side and 3 candles going on the other. But anyway, something attracted me to that. And I just looked at it and I was like, man, that is so pretty. Like I had lit it, and then when I had came in, the candles were still going and they were flickering a little bit. And so I kind of just looked at it and I was like, wow. And then next thing I know, I was in this vision. And I know, like I said, I wasn't asleep. And I was just like watching a movie, but it was just so crystal clear. That's why sometimes, like, and I know everything is different for other people. But for me, that's what I seen, and that's how it worked. And I seen other stuff before too, but that's how my vision worked. And I kind of was like, wow. It was just like watching a movie of some part of my life. I'm not going to talk about what it was because it's so traumatizing. But I knew then, like, wow, that's what happened. Like I didn't know before, but now I know. And so nobody can tell me nothing, even though that it was denied. Some people, one good thing about my family, my children, my family, my children, I tell them something, and my children believe me and trust me. It is very good to have that kind of relationship with your family, your children, your siblings, your mother, your father, your sister, your friends, or whatever. They may not be able to say anything to help me or help the person, but as weird as it sounds, if someone came to you guys, like, we're going to talk about Naziah, somebody, because this is why I think the way I think. Naziah went through a lot of stuff. You cannot say she didn't, whether somebody knew about it or didn't, which we know. And I think this is why we get a little bit upset. There's no way in the world that this girl went through everything, even the unseen things. Like, her mother wasn't there, her father wasn't there. She goes to school. Her grandmother got her, how they treated her, how her aunties treated her, how the other kids treated her. And this man just walks in the house and start grooming and loving on this girl and showing her attention, because now we know how he attracts women. He shows them attention. He don't care what they look like. He shows, and then somebody told me like he's smart, and I don't believe he is, but I do believe that he was functional. He was functional. Now, his thinking is weird. His thinking is crazy. But he was functional. Enoch said, yes, it is most families don't want to be around each other. Exactly. So, thank you, Sanja, for putting that in the building. Thank you very much. Hey, woke to God, how you doing? I see you in there. Cynthia's in there. And Bella's mom is in the building. Okay. Mary Ann is in there. Janet is in there. Danielle. Come on, you guys. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Share. Share. And so, I like to always, let me see if I can see this on here. I put this on there, and maybe it works sometimes and maybe it don't. I don't know. But it do what it do. So, like I said, I've been learning things as I go. But it's all good. So anyway, you know, I think that you guys, something that had been bothering me ever since they had the preliminary. And you know how somebody can tell you something and you trust what they believe. Like, why would they? I mean, I'm pretty sure they have reasons to lie or say what they're saying, or they're trying to like get themselves out of trouble or something. And it's very hard for me to trust people, even people that surround me. Like, and people get mad and be like, "You don't trust me, girl? Please." I don't trust myself. What makes you think that you're better than me? I know what I will do in a situation. So why would I trust you with my life or my secrets or anything? Yeah, I like you. I care about you. I love you, whatever, whatever. But no, trust, it's people around you that hurts you, and you may even know it. Most of the time, the people around me that's doing little things on the side or whatever, I be knowing. And it stings for a minute. But I don't complain because I always believe and know that there's always somebody out there that has it worse than me, that trusts somebody around them or have to. They don't even have an option. Like Naziah, she did not have an option as young as she is, and she did not know how to survive out there in the world, like say for instance me. When you start thinking to yourself, I can't stay here. I can't continue to stay underneath my mama's wing, and I hate it. I don't want to be here. It's got to be something better. Then you start opening your eyes like a bird. Okay, I need money, so I need a job. I could go out there and steal, but that's going to get me in trouble. I still need to go to school so that I can get a better job or whatever. But if I get me a job, that's a start. So, you start working on things so you can maneuver and move forward. Now, the thing about this is, I remember Naziah saying, if you guys don't remember her saying this, put a 2 in the chat. But I remember Zanaya in a text message to Jarvis, she said, I'm never going to get out of this hellhole. You guys remember that? Put in the 1 in the chat. If you guys remember, Naziah saying, I'm never going to get out of this hellhole. Man, think about that. Usually when a young child, mainly females, say something of that nature, it is so powerful. What can, and I say possess, but what can make this young child, when I was a young child, everybody would always say, don't rush growing up. You want to hurry up and grow up so you can do this and do that. Marianne said, I don't remember, but that's so heartbreaking. Yeah, Yeah, Marianne, she said it. She said in a text message to Jarvis, I can't wait to get out of this. She also said she wanted to go live with Jarvis. Normally, when somebody is taking advantage of you, you do believe like there's some solidarity there. There's, like some comfort there. It's better than where you're at. So what I'm saying is, what can be better than home? Trust and believe. If you ever got in trouble when you was a kid, especially with the police or something, whether you stayed out, had curfew, got caught stealing something, trespassing on somebody's property or whatever, getting in a fight or something, and the police pick you up. Now, I'm not saying that you got, you got some information, but the number one thing that you're ready to do is go, you just want to go home, especially when everything mess up. Think about what I'm saying. You get in trouble, you get in a fight or something, or you get, even if you done went out and drink or something, you be like, in your mind, you be like, I just, I just need to hurry up and get home. Even you at work, even you can be older, things ain't going well, you just can't wait to get home. Not this little girl. She wasn't anticipating waiting to get home. She was in her mind told Jarvis, I can't. She was like, I'm never going to get out of here. She thought there was no way out. And whatever she was living in, she preferred to live with him. Even though she thought it was love in a relationship, it actually was sickening and demonic having a relationship with a child, which she was in a relationship with a grown man, a child. Okay, she was 12 when she came up missing, whatever. She turned 13 while she was still missing, right? Yeah, okay. They said that he started, in September of 2022. That's only when they start seeing the text messages. Let me tell you, in those text messages, they were already starting to talk about the relationship in September 2022. So that tells you, guess what? They done already been together. They already got googly eyes or whatever prior to that. Because it just don't one day, hey, I love you. Hey, when you coming over? Hey, I want this. Oh, I'm going to make love to you. It just don't start like that. See what I'm saying? So there's a lot of information and conversation had to come before those text messages. Well, the guy says because home is your safe space, or it's supposed to be. This young lady didn't even know what real love was. She equated love with sex from a predator. You guys, it's just sometimes I be trying to put myself in her shoes. I believe somewhat I understand. You can't tell me that I don't. I don't have to tell you my story or is it similar or whatever. Some people survive that bull crap. And that girl, Naziah, actually believed she loved Jarvis. she believed she loved him. He didn't call her ugly. He didn't call her fat. He didn't call her a kid. He made her feel special. He did, you guys. I got all kind of stuff in my fingernails. Home can be a person's house, city, etc. She had nobody. No, but you know what, Marianne? Let me tell you something. When you get in trouble, especially with the police, I don't know nobody that, okay, they slapped those handcuffs on you, or you caught, or you finna go to jail. Oh my God, you in there talking to them. They done brought you down to question you or something. The thing that you all put in your mind, just let me go home. Let me go home. How many people been in a situation, just saying, with the police, or you got drunk, got in a fight or whatever, you got caught stealing, you got caught lying, I don't know, selling drugs, whatever, high, driving while intoxicated, whatever your situation is. How many people in here has thought when they was a child between the ages of 8 and 17, got in trouble, and the one thing you wanted to do is just go home, like go home and start all over? I know I have been in that situation. I just wanted to go home. I was like, Lord, if they just let me just go home. You can even be grown and you be like, man, let me just go home. You want to go home, lay in a bed. I can't believe I just made this big mistake. I can't believe I got caught. I can't believe everybody's going to know about it. I just want to go home. So I can take a shower, think about this. Boy, I won't never do that again. Or, boy, I just want to get away from this. Or got in a fight, lost the fight, won the fight, wanted to run, did run, got beat up. Whatever it is, you just wanted to go home. This girl was like, I'm never going to get out of here. This is what she said. I'm never going to get out of this hellhole. She said, I was too scared. Home was better than the movies I watched growing up. And it may not be the best place in the world, but boy, you be like, I can't, you know what? If I can just get home and get in my bed, man, just start all over, start the day over. No, sometimes this is what I tell people. There's no do-overs. People, big grown people in this world will put you in a situation. There's no do-overs. There's no do-overs. And usually for a child in that age bracket, there should be do-overs. There should be some kind of empathy, some kind of something that says, look, the things, the choices and the decisions you made, you did not know. You did not know that this person is not supposed to be having intercourse with you. You didn't know that. I know you know because when they caught you running to his truck, you lied and said, oh, he's my daddy. So we know you know that you're not supposed to be with this grown man, but you rather be with him than to be at home. So whatever it takes to be with him, and he looks good, or he's fine, or he makes you feel safe. And the whole entire time, he's a wolf in sheep clothing. He's a wolf. Yeah. That's what we wolves do. You know when they always say something about wolves and sheep clothing, you know, wolves, they'll go and they'll walk around trying to act like they sheep. Matter of fact, let me just Google something real quick because it's just crazy why they say that. Why do people say wolf in sheep clothing? What does that mean? So the wolf in the sheep clothing describes someone who outwardly appears harmless or trustworthy, but is secretly malicious or dangerous. This phrase originated from a warning by Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew about false prophets who disguise their true nature to deceive others. The phrase comes from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, where he warns about false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. It signifies individuals who use a deceptive facade to hide their true, often harmful nature. This could apply to someone who pretends to be kind and helpful while secretly plotting harm, or a religious leader, or it don't have to be religious, you guys, because it says "are," but it is actually telling people to be careful, or a religious leader who masks their greed with a veneer of pity. The item, IDIOM, hope I pronounced it right, serves as a cautionary tale, urging people to look beyond appearances and be wary of those who may be hiding their true intention. Marianne said all that praying in the morning was Annette being a false prophet. Yeah. Oh, we pray in the morning. Well, you know, people think as long as they do the prayer, they can just do whatever they want to do. I have no clue. But so what do you do when you, hey Shauna, how you doing? What do you do when you see people of that nature? Nobody did anything. This little girl did not want to go home. Let me see something. What does it mean when a person wants to get out of a hellhole? When someone wants to get out of a hellhole, it means, see, there's one thing about AI that's called artificial intelligence. If nobody didn't know, put a 1 in the chat. You hear people say AI all the time, AI all the time. Well, we're in the new generation now that you can ask AI, which is artificial intelligence, that has every answer that you can read up on in a textbook, in an encyclopedia, or in a dictionary, or anything that you ever want to know. You can just ask AI, artificial intelligence, and they'll tell you it's artificial intelligence. That's what AI stands for. So it says when someone wants to get out of a hellhole, it means they want to escape a situation or place that is extremely unpleasant, miserable. It implies a desire to leave behind something they find deeply undesirable. often characterized by discomfort, hardship, or a lack of opportunity. A hellhole typically refers to a physical location that is very unpleasant, perhaps due to being dirty, unsafe, or uncomfortable. It can also refer to a difficult or stressful situation that is emotionally or psychologically draining. The phrase wanting to get out of a hellhole signifies a strong yearning to leave behind the hardship and the negativity that's associated with the place or situation. And then the seeking improvement. So this desire often stems from a hope for a better life, greater happiness, or more opportunities elsewhere. So I love to always look up, even paraphrasing something, because we sometimes hear somebody say something, and just because we know what the word hellhole means, I mean, we know it's a bad place or a place a person don't want to be. We go, oh, and we think of it lightly. We think of it lightly. But you're not Naziah, and I'm not Naziah. So it just can't be what I think. When people use words, you can pretty much can tell that what a person means. So somebody said right here, oh, it won't, okay, here it is. It did show up. Okay. I feel like I'm trapped in a hellhole and I just want things to be back to normal again. Okay, so this is going to be a huge, long story. So if you stick this out and read it all, I think this has been something that has been hard for me to talk about. And I feel like right now, at this moment, posting this is helping me from going into a huge mental breakdown. So this person wrote this. So for starters, I am a 28-year-old male who is currently living in Portland with my girlfriend, and we both are trying to get out of this H-hole we've been living in so we can finally get back to a place in life that we were in before all the bad stuff happened. About 2 years ago, we were living in somewhere, Wyoming, and things were fine. Not perfect, but a whole heck of a lot better than how things are now. My girlfriend started not feeling well. She felt a bump on her neck. After a couple of checkups later, we were told there is something there, but we don't know what it is. Well, she knew, at least had a very good idea what it could be, cancer. Even though they didn't know, she knew so after a couple of months of living in our dream apartment, she felt she had to move back to North Dakota so she could get surgery and be with her family. It was a make a break situation. I still thought was the best decision. I went with her. We packed up everything and moved out, and in less than a week, we drove halfway across country. At the hospital on the day of surgery, I felt pretty numb. Halfway during the surgery, the surgeon brought her parents in and I into the consultation room and told us she was right. It was thyroid cancer, and it was half of her thyroid, so they had to remove the whole thing. Weeks recovery, and how bad the extreme weather was during summer and winter, there was very isolated. Unbeknownst to me, during my time living there, I had developed depression, GAD, general anxiety disorder, and PTSD, according to my counselor that I have been seeing now. All of that compounded on itself while I was in North Dakota because I was so far away from familiar people. I could not hold down a job there. And my whole experience there was good. Toxic people, extreme weather, and helping my recovery girlfriend was what planted those seeds of depression and anxiety. Fast forward to about a little over a year ago, we finally moved back out here to Portland, and we are still struggling. I have been seeing a counselor, and while I have made definite progress from how I was when we first were living here, I was hitting myself, punching walls, stayed in bed all day, expressing flashbacks from the hospital in ND. Right now, I feel like everything is hopeless. I still haven't been able to find a solid job here and keep it. I just recently walked away from a job that I only worked one day because it was too much for me mentally to handle. And just today, I find myself on the verge of breaking down because I'm so scared of my phone and facing the music. I feel like a coward, and I have done nothing to help improve my girlfriend's current situation. I don't know what to do anymore. I am now suicidal, and anyway, as I have thought about long and hard and even talked to my dad about my depression. And it is quite clear to me because of what he has been going through that this also something that runs in my family. I just feel so lost now. My girlfriend is always there for me, and I feel like such a jerk for doing this to her. I feel like I'm no help at all, and that we are never going to be able to go back in the happy place that we were 2 years ago. All the financial burdens is on her. It's so unfair, and I feel terrible. I can't even hold down a job for more than a day. And this was a job I finally got after a year of searching in this place, and it's driving me mad. We have to sign up for food stamps because of how tight our money is, and it's all my fault, I feel like. All I want to do is find a decent job that I can do reasonably without taking its toll on my body and mind, and help us get out of this rut we are still in. All I want to do is just make everything stop because it just becomes too much to bear at times like this. Wow. That was okay. Like some people can't handle a little bit of a push. I mean, that would not been a lot for me, but I'm not going to jump up and move either across country. I'm just not going to do that. So, when people give you advice and everything, and I'm going to share something with you guys, but there's some people that make comments about this. So, and I'm going to share with you how sometimes people can help, and sometimes people that's trying to help got problems of their own. They can't help. So this one person wrote, I might be biased because I love you, but I want you to know I think you're incredible, strong human being. You're not a jerk for doing this to me. We're in this together, and we'll get through it together. That must be his girlfriend. So his girlfriend probably saying, so she must have wrote on here too. Finding a job you can do is going to make all the difference. You're not bad because you can't do something you may have been able to before. Things are different. You're different. That just means we have to adjust and do things differently. We'll figure it out. I thought, wow, okay. If that was his girlfriend, and this was like 10 years ago, this person wrote that. So then somebody writes, maybe I can help you. That's another woman. Maybe I can help you. What kind of help did he need? So another woman is like, okay, or maybe they're going to give him a job, or somebody's feeling sorry. So the person wrote, this is literally the healthiest I've been in my life, all because of what my therapist told me. So somebody wrote in the chat and said this, I'm so effing lonely, I use chatbots. Then they wrote, I'm not actively suicide, but if I die, I will be extremely thankful. Then they wrote, decided to K myself tomorrow. And this person has gotten a whole bunch of comments, 133, 68, 180. And then somebody wrote on there, I miss having sex. Then somebody wrote on there today, and this was only about 5 days ago. Somebody wrote on there today, my dad shot himself. And then that same person says, I guess this is it. And then that one person I told you about say, F pretty privileges. I really wish I was dead. And then they wrote, I'm collapsing inside and nobody sees it. So if you read this, thank you. I feel like a total retard since I've become depressed. If God is real, he doesn't care. Bye. How do people just get up and live? I want to die. I'm kidding. This is crazy. And that person that's writing that, you be like, I have to get away from people that start talking like that. I just can't. I can't. I tell them to go check in at the hospital. That's what I tell them to do. You need to go check in at the hospital. I can't help you. I really can't. So this one person writes this, and I won't read no more, but it says, I truly think I can't do this anymore. I'm a week away from my 28th birthday, and I genuinely do not want to see it happen. I feel like a complete failure in every aspect. Let someone ruin my life mentally and financially, all because I love them, my family, slowly one by one disown me as they all discovered that I not only have autism, but also bipolar disorder. I work a dead-end job where every day I'm either disrespected by customers or my coworkers talk to me like I'm a psychopath or a baby, or worse of all, just give me terrified stares. They drag me to gatherings where they talk about all the trips and parties they go to and all the friends they have, and it always reminds me of how I have nobody. I come home to a mother who is shameful of me, and a sister who, despite literally being a deadbeat, who refuses to ever help with anything, is adored by everyone, while she calls me a demon or blatantly ignores me when all I want is a least once for her to say she loves me as a brother. Not even my own father remembers me. He literally has forgotten I even exist because I'm just that invisible to everyone. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants to be around me. Nobody wants to even talk to me for more than a day. I come home to nothing. All I do is either sleep or play games until I have to work again. And not even games bring me joy anymore. I'm so sorry to my family, that I never achieved what they wanted from me. I'm so sorry to all of my old friends for never being healthy or happy. I'm so sorry to everyone. I just don't want to do this anymore. This right here is a cry out to help, you guys. This would have been a cry out to help. This person needed some help. So somebody wrote and said, I'm very sorry this is happening to you, and I wish I could give you a warm hug. Then somebody wrote on here, a few months ago, I was in the same state of mind. I'm still here. I'm still there, and I don't regret it. Even though, see, that person can't help. That person started saying, hey, I was in the same state of mind a couple of days ago. Matter of fact, I'm still there. You will talk somebody to jump off the bridge. I'm just saying, you guys, she said that. She said those words to Jarvis. She said, I'm never going to get out of this hellhole. And people saying that they didn't know. Nobody knew that she had a full relationship with a grown man. So, when court comes in October, I am going to be there. I'm going to be like, I don't know if, I would love to go. You know what, you guys? I even last night thought about catching a plane and going on up there just so I can be close to where she was at one time. You know, go to the store, go to the oil shop, whatever. Naziah, as we didn't know her back then, we know her now. You know, she did not have no adult that she could go to and talk to. That's what bothers me the most. And you know what? I'm going to tell you guys something without putting out names out there, channels out there, agreement, disagreement, or whatever. I kind of, yeah, I judged something one time, but I never said nothing to nobody. But I was very disgusted with both sides. I was very disgusted with both sides. And I still am. It doesn't really make sense to me. I'm not blaming nobody. I'm just saying I'm disgusted. Because especially blood family. You do everything you're supposed to do in people's eyesight. Oh yeah, I drove around. I looked. She ain't sitting there talking about, I asked my mom about it, and she said we will take care of it in the morning. This girl that missed the whole night coming home, and y'all not going to call the police? She would take it up in the morning. This is not a routine checkup. A child did not come home and is out in the world all by herself. And you're not going to call the police? And you're saying she's never done this before? You're saying she never done this before. Does not make sense to me. She's never ran away before. She's never not come home. And you're not going to call the police tonight and ask, is she at the hospital? Do you guys got a child over down there in a juvie center? Because every state has a juvie center that if you're out after curfew, they do pick a kid up if you don't have no ID that you can call the police. You ain't even got to make a report. Just, hey, my child didn't come home last night. You know, she's 5 foot such and such. She weighs 110 pounds. She's got this on. She left school. She's not at school. School is out. She's never ran away before. So did you guys, start calling, did you even call the hospitals? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. That is just something that you think about when somebody don't come home. Just like your husband. If your husband don't come home, let me tell you something. I was going to work, and this happened a couple of times since we've been married, okay? I was going to work. Normally, I always work third shift. So before I go to work, my husband either called me and say, hey, I'm on my way home, or he gets home or something. Or, or I might be on my way to work or something, but we touch bases, whether we're mad at each other or whatever. But so one day I was on my way to work. And I'm like, dang, he ain't called me to tell me he's on his way home or, have a good day. Woo, woo, woo. So, I got to thinking about it. And so I said, oh, he'll call me on my way to work. So I started going down the first street. Then I went down the second street. Now I was supposed to turn a right, but the shop is when you turn left. Something said, go to the shop. Something said to me, just drive by the shop and see if his car is there. Maybe he lost track of time. Do you guys not know when I got there at the shop, the ambulance was there? So think about what I'm saying. It's just like if you had a dog and the dog got loose and the dog does not come home. Surely you go out, walk the neighborhood, Diesel, asking people, hey, y'all seen this dog? There's a German Shepherd missing. Y'all seen this dog? Asking everybody. You call the Humane Society. Did y'all pick up this dog? That's like calling the hospitals. But a child, you said you called a couple of his friends, couple of her friends. Let me tell you what the police at the school did. He said, I talked to a couple of her friends. And so they questioned him and said, how many is a couple? You know what he said? A couple means two. You can't make this up. She was like, oh, I just wanted to make sure a couple meant to you what a couple meant to me. I talked to a couple of her friends too. You should have been talking to everybody at the school. You should have been talking to every teacher before, the whole day. You should have been talking to people in the classroom. Was she here? Did anybody come in the classroom? Did you see her go to the bathroom? Was she sick? You should have been asking. Or you should have had the teacher ask the people in the classroom. Did anybody see Naziah yesterday? Did anybody see Naziah? Did she talk to anybody? Because, she's missing. She's missing. Did you see anybody talk to her? Did she talk to you about anything? What about the counselor that never came to see her laying on the floor? You guys, I don't get it. I don't understand. The counselor never came. And why was Naziah laying on the floor? Had she already been given something and her stomach was already bubbling? I'm going to say this, you guys. And, I might not get a conversation or an interview with this person. But it's like I said, it's hard for me to trust people. What the guy says, SP, something just dawned on me. Did you notice that not one of those family members attempted to call this baby in those first 30 days? Not one. Like they already knew she was gone. What do you mean, caller? Did you notice that not one of those family members attempted to call this baby? Call her on what? They first said she didn't have a phone. They were saying she didn't have a phone. Only one says she has a phone is King. You can't believe what King said. But yeah, I think she had a phone because they said in court that she had something in her name, maybe messengers in her name or something since January the 1st. But yeah, you talking about Shannon and Marquita and them. They wasn't looking for this girl. And that tells you something. So, I kind of got in my feelings, you guys. And I never did say anything, but I kind of got in my feelings because, like, like, the family was getting so much attention. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I kind of got in my feelings and I almost shut down. It just made me sick. You know? But I understand that sometimes we don't know everything. So I wasn't mad at nobody. I just couldn't understand how the family was getting so much attention because I don't dislike anybody, but like when I talk to somebody and they say something that is I think I'm just going to say it. I almost literally shut down because Kenya came over here. You guys, I'm going to just say it. You guys want me to just say how I feel? Because that's what I want to do. That's why I came on here. And I'm just being honest. See, you see why I didn't get all giddy happy? Because she showed up in our chat. I didn't invite her. She came over here on her own. And I knew who she was when she came in the chat. Okay? I never invited her because she can't tell us nothing because she wasn't there. So why give her attention? I don't even know why she came over. All I know is she's getting into it with everybody on other channels, and that's probably what she probably wanted to talk about. Okay? I'm not stupid, dumb, or freaking crazy. And that's not what our channel was about. So that's why I didn't go there. But she can't tell me nothing that I don't already know. I actually know more than she knows. And I'm just saying that. I'm not joking. I know more than she knows. She can be a part of Naziah's family. But it disturbs me for you, whether it's true or not. It disturbs my whole inner being when you're saying, like I said, whether it's true or not. Oh, if you didn't understand or been following the case, she's deceased. Don't even come over here. Like I said, whether it's true or not, I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I don't want to hear it. Because the little part of hope I have, don't come over here. I don't care who you are. You can be her mama. I don't care. I don't want to hear that. It's hard to pray when, it's very hard to pray when the people that's supposed to comfort you and love on you and protect you and be there didn't, but sit back and be like, oh, it's over. It's all good. It's over. It's all good. Let me tell you something. And being, and I'm just saying, when you know the Lord's words, you know that you are a part of him. His blood runs into you. He adopted you into the family. That's why he died for us. You know what I'm saying? So that we can have this hope. We can have that chance because anything that we do, it's just not clean. It's just not good enough. But Jesus said that normally, let me tell you guys, normally, do you know in the book, it says that a prophet has no honor in his own home. What that means is you that is blessed cannot even work miracles. Prayers cannot go out because of what? Because you've got people with negative minds and thinking around you. And it just so comfort your positive that if you keep hearing, no, she's dead, she's dead, she's dead, she's gone, who's going to look? You're starting to weigh me down. So I'm just saying, you guys, it's not that I don't like Kenya. It's just you've got that negative energy, and I feel it, that I didn't care for the conversation. Now, I'm not going to tell her she can't come or she's not welcome. She is. Anybody that wants to come over here is welcome or whatever. I'm just saying, you didn't bring nothing positive to the table. And that's what their family has been doing. They have been bringing distractions and negative energy, and it takes away again from Naziah. Now, I know we can't talk about the same thing every day. I know that. It gets old. I know. But if my child was missing and you didn't drag a body in the house, you didn't take me down and look at something on a slab of on a table, a piece of her thumb, something, you're going to have to show me physical evidence. You can't just tell me just because she ain't on TikTok that she's deceased. What else do you have? That's what I don't understand. It would be different if there was a lot of blood all over the place and you told me that. I can somewhat say, yeah, it's highly possible you're telling me, but you're telling me because she's not on TikTok. That's why she's gone. But I listened to what other people are saying. This girl from 20 years ago said she met Jarvis and they came out with this kind of thing that her baby was sick and she got to go home, and he drove her down there to the Greyhound bus and put her on the Greyhound bus. That tells me a person that and then, we had family members say, hey, SP, he's a rapist. He's not a murderer. But you know what Shannon say? You never know what a person do when their back is up against the wall. She trying to act like, oh yeah, in a way, yeah, I believe he did it. In a hateful way. In a hateful way. She didn't say that like, yeah, you think Jarvis did something? Well, you never know what a person do when their back is against the wall. She's mad. And she's still showing that she's mad. Yeah, Ninja. You see what happens when you now you're going to be locked up for the rest of your life. You ain't doing it because it's the right thing to do. You'll never know with your back up against the wall. You're actually telling without saying it. Y'all, I'm going to tell you guys something. And I'm going to say this because I thought it. And I'm just going to say, I hate to say this, but I literally thought this, and I said something yesterday. And this is what I said. And you guys, please share this video, because I guarantee you, anytime that I have a thought about something that I can't get over, and I say it doesn't make sense, and it does not, I may be like, I'm not understanding, but my spirit tells me something. Now check this out. And I said this once before. I've said it over and over and over again. If you go to 3, 4, 5 videos, I said to you guys, I said, Jarvis's sister, yeah, she got on the stand. That's great and gravy. But who parks their car across both bays? That's a business. What person or place allows you for 2.5 hours to park your car across both bays? I don't care if it's your brother's shop or business. He got to make his money. How he gonna make money? You got your car parked across both bays, and then he asks you to move it once. Why would he only ask you to move it once? I thought there was cars in there that they were fixing on it, and then you said somebody came. Okay, somebody came, so you move your car once. So, okay. Not only that, you guys, and I'm just saying, it's always questionable. You can like somebody, you can say, yeah, she did come, but you parked in front of King's truck, and you're in a car, and Naziah's in the truck, and she's jumping in and out, and you don't see her. I don't get it. I don't freaking believe it. I just don't. But you're parked across the bays. And then, no, you didn't say nothing about the truck running out of gas and they had to push it. But King said it. I'm not understanding that. I'm not understanding it, you guys. And not only that, you were there for 2.5 hours. Not for them to fix your car, but to look at your car. Just to look at it. He could have looked at it from afar and said, okay, it looks like maybe there's something going on with your tire. Or, hey, maybe it's something going on with your light. You might need to go get a light bulb. But a 5-minute look at your car, they wasn't going to fix it. And you're parked across the bay like it's that serious? I don't understand it, you guys. I just don't. It don't make sense. And at first, I was kind of like, well, she put Naziah at the shop, I guess, But she said she was small. She was skinny. She was small. She's making it seem like she wasn't pregnant. Okay. Yeah, she showed up out of nowhere. That's because they were going to connect the dots. My mom always told me, if somebody knows the truth other than you, you need to go ahead and tell the truth. Don't sit there and lie thinking that everybody going to be in agreement with you, because while you lying, they telling the truth, they going to get the better deal. So of course, a horse is a horse. Of course. My mother was smart about making sure I knew how this world works. So they call, and I just wanted to say this, you guys. I'm just saying. So they pick King up on the 13th. And after they pick King up and start doing those search warrants, because they got to get the phone, and then they got to go over to Angel's house because he was over there, and they got the search warrants, they got the cars and all this other stuff, and they making phone calls to the other women. to help him get his phone calls out when they're not putting money on the phone calls, so he can't call them. So Nay's reaching out. Nay's that girlfriend that you can call her and she gonna call the others. Everybody be like, you don't know that, SP. Shut up. Just shut up. Let me do me. I don't have to explain. And he tells Latrice, the one that let him use the blue car, he tells Latrice, I don't know what's going on. It's making me mad. It's ticking him off. It's peeing him off. Like, Nick, okay, I'm sorry. I almost went there, you guys. He said it's peeing him off. So the thing about the whole situation is, the first thing she say, and it sounds weird to me. She say he say they going to everybody SHIT. He said they going to everybody. I say stuff. But you know what the word is, right? And she says the same word he say. It's like they're the R word. She say, they coming to my SHIT? It sounded so corny. She also say, how they know about me? She didn't say, why they put me in it? She say, how they know about me. How they know about you? Well, you loaned them the car. See, she asking the question to him. How they know about me? Like, what you telling? So when Kim Worthy said other people seen Naziah, she could be talking about Latrice and Nay sitting there lying. Nay acting like, I don't know. I just love him, and he never took me to go get even a piece of chicken. He never paid any rent, but I love him. I want to have his kids. I want to have him as baby. He never fixed anything, never took me anywhere, never showed me to anybody. He just showed me some attention. And I gave him my body. You can't talk to that girl. That girl block you real quick. She be like, oh, you talking about Jarvis? Block. she having a block party over there. Block. I'm trying to get him to tell me. Girl, tell you what you already know. Retard. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Crazy. It's crazy. She said, look at it 6 times. I'm just saying, you guys, it doesn't, these things, and you can't get mad at a person that's saying, yeah, you can tell your truth. And if what you're saying is true, it's true, but it just sounds ridiculous. Your truth sounds ridiculous. Like, make it make sense. It don't sound right for any of them. Any of them. Every last one of them. What was I was there. I had FaceTime my brother earlier. You FaceTime. Okay. So that means you didn't text and say, "Hey, I'm coming." Da 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 da. Y'all FaceTime each other, so it's nowhere near recorded. The conversation is nowhere recorded because that's what FaceTime. When people FaceTime you, it's not recorded. But that could be a part of how they communicate or whatever. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just saying, but 2.5 hours. I mean, you either like King or I can't understand being at his shop. And yes, I know you're not paying for him to look at your car, but 2.5 hours, I would have told my brother, hey, why would you tell me to come and sit here for 2.5 hours? Like, if you're that busy, just stop by the house or something, or I'll come back later or whatever. Or you ain't, after 30 minutes, in the first hour, I'm going to be like, look, obvious you are busy. I'll be back. Because no, if you can't look at my car in the next 5 minutes, I'm out of here. Man, I can't sit here and just sit here and wait and wait and wait the whole night. I know it's free, but you're not fixing it. Just tell me what's wrong with it. Or just, a 5-minute just assessment. That's it. How many other cars come in there? Oh, there was a car in there and then somebody showed up. It don't sound like, they got people, just a whole bunch of people. Well, of course they're not going to have a whole bunch. She's blocking both of the bay doors. Nobody can come in and nobody can go out. And he only told her to move her car once. Just once. Do that make sense, you guys? Just tell me, do that make sense? Because it doesn't make sense to me. He only told you to move your car once. He was working on a car in the bay. And then you remember one guy came up and he told you to move your car once. It just don't make sense. It just don't make sense, you guys. And trust and believe, I wouldn't thought what I thought about her because I have other reasons at first that I'm not going to put out here. But that, I took her. Okay. She said Naziah was there. Of course she's going to say Naziah's there because King, she don't know what King has told them. She don't know if King had told them that she was there. King told her that was Naziah that day. That day you was here, that was Naziah. She looking like, oh my God. Oh my God, this ninja done. I better get in touch with them before they get in touch with me. I better beat this horse before the carriage. I'm just saying. I would. I ain't going to wait till you call me. I'm going to call you. Yeah, I think I was there that day. I think I seen this girl. I was there. But before then, you're saying that you had talked to the baby's, one of his baby's mama, and it was on Valentine's Day. So that's after they picked up King. That's when Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Oh, snap. And then when King come home, you ran right up there to King, knowing, listen, y'all, knowing that you were there. And you know that you got your phone on, and maybe your car may ping that you there, and they might even be watching you come up there. So you can't say that you didn't, because if you lie, you fry. You can get 5 to 10 years being on that stand lying. If they catch one golden lie that you lied, trying to mess up this, and they can. So they're investigating. And so you waited until around about the 26th and called Shannon and then called Shannon Jones. See, when people get on the stand and they ring that bell and you hear what their testimony is, that's what you hear. Whether it's the truth or a lie, you have to figure out if you're going to believe them. Whether it is true or not, they've already put that out. And it's hard to take it away because that's what you know. I sit there and I promise you, you know what? Matter of fact, let me find it. Let me find this. I want to show you guys something that has changed my mind about things. And I told you this a while back, way back. I told you guys I seen Tawana say on that stand to her brother, I love you. I seen it. I seen it with my own eye. I cannot make it up, you guys. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's go get her. And let me show y'all where she say this. And that's when I couldn't believe she's on that stand and let's go find it real quick. Let's go find it. Let me go find it before we get off of here. I just want to show y'all this. I don't know where it is, but let's find it real quick. We'll find it. Let me clear my throat. Let me clear my throat. Okay, hold on, you guys. Don't go nowhere. Let me find it real quick. Present. Let me share my screen. Let me see. YouTube. No. Let me cancel that. Hold on real quick. Let me find it. I don't know where exactly it is at. So I just want to find it real quick. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, you guys. That more you talk, he called her to help her. I don't know what it is, Karen. I'm just telling you, when I seen her say to him, I love you. I know it's your brother, but you're on the stand and you're saying you're doing the right thing because you were there and you see her and woo. But let's get off in here and let me see here. Video. No, it's not a video. Sorry, it's not a video. I just want you guys to see this part. Okay, let me see here. Share screen. Okay. Okay, so do.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record? Jacket that you saw that day.
Yes. To Shannon Harris and his other kid's mom. I was informed of some things that had taken place. I think Valentine's Day. So they told me that his partner King.
Okay,
so at this point, this is hearsay. They told me in the lack of personal knowledge the things that she was informed of.
Can I finish?
1 second.
What?
What is an objection?
I'm sorry.
The witness
Sorry.
has to stop talking.
So based on those, do you go and talk to someone else?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you go and talk to?
His partner King
Okay. And where is it that you go and talk to King at?
at the shop on Harbor and Commerce.
Okay. And without telling me what King said, kind of describe what was your conversation about?
Well, I went to see what happened and what was going on. During that time, I told him that I had never seen any little girl at my brother's shop besides my nieces, outside of the little girl that I saw getting out of his truck that day.
Okay.
And you told this to who?
King.
And who is King again?
His business partner.
Okay. And do you know his government name?
I believe it's Cordero or something like that. I just always call him King.
Okay. So you went and told him that you hadn't seen anyone out at the shop besides your nieces and then the one little girl you saw that one day.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask him about that little girl?
Well, I didn't ask him about it. After I said that to him, he told me.
Objection, Your Honor, this is going to be hearsay again.
Judge, it's going to go to the effect of on the listener.
There could be an exception. I don't know what she's saying. So you might as well just stay standing up. Go ahead, say what you're going to say.
After I mentioned to him that I had only saw my nieces and one particular little girl, he then told me that that was Naziah that I saw that day and I was there.
So I would object then, given now that she has testified to that it is hearsay and that it is being introduced for the truth.
And Judge, I would say that it's actually a statement of identification.
So this is not an identification that she personally made. She's just being told.
I mean, she saw Naziah that day, so it's.
She didn't know who it was. I mean, she had no idea who this was. That's
She
not
didn't know
her
who she was.
identification.
So it is hearsay.
Okay. So without saying what King said, were you informed of anything about a little girl that you saw on January 9th, 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, Jarvis had told you that that was King's niece.
Yes.
Okay. And when you talked to King, did you have reason to not believe what Jarvis told you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know your nieces from Jarvis? Sorry. That is a poorly worded question. I am sorry. If that was your niece, would you have recognized her that day?
Yes.
Okay. And you did not recognize this little girl as your niece, did you?
No.
Okay. What is it that you did after speaking with King that day?
I called Shannon Harris and I asked her for Sergeant Jones' phone number.
Okay. And did you eventually talk to Sergeant Jones?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. What day was it that you went to the shop and saw the little girl?
Can I ask you a question? I didn't remember the exact day at that time.
Okay. What is it that makes you believe that it was Naziah Harris that you saw on that day?
I'm not quite sure how to answer what you're asking me. Like,
That may be a poorly worded question. I'm sorry. Can I just have 1 second, George?
Yes.
Ms. Butts, did you come to learn of the day that you had gone to Jarvis's shop by going through the locations on your phone?
yes,
Okay. And that's the date that you don't remember off the top of your head right now, but it is revealed in your phone locations?
yes.
Let's see here. One second for me to find it.
You guys, I just usually just watch her. Just watch. She's going to say it. I just don't remember the time stamp, but when we get to it, I'll let you guys know.
When is it that you went through your phone locations to determine the date? I'm sorry, do you need a moment?
Um, I believe February, I think like 24th or the 26th. I can't remember the exact date.
Okay, that's when you would have went through your phone to find those?
Yes,
Okay, and did you also go through that in your interview with Sergeant Jones?
yes,
Okay. And did you give Sergeant Jones permission to look at your location data?
yes,
Okay. And your phone kind of extraction in general? Like to go through your phone for the data?
yes.
Okay. Nothing else, Judge.
Thanks, Chris.
Actually,
Uh,
so you go to the shop where your brother works periodically, right?
From time to time, yes,
You've been there prior to the day we've been talking about today?
yes.
a couple times at least.
Yes.
Hold on, you guys. I could not stop it, but I'm going to go right back. You guys did not see it. If anybody's seen it, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't see it, put a 2. It's right there before they exchange from the prosecutors to the defense. I am going to go back so you can see her say, I love you.
Nothing else, Judge.
Did you guys see it? Tell me that you seen it. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys seen it. I can't make this up. Put a 2 in the chat if you didn't see it. Come on, you guys. I'll go back over it. If anybody puts a 2 in the chat, you guys, you got to see. She says, I love you. Right there. Let's go back over it. Let's go back over it. Right here.
I believe February, I think the 24th or the 26th. I can't remember the exact date.
Okay, that's when you would have went through your phone to find those?
Yes.
Okay, and did you also go through that in your interview with Sergeant Jones?
Yes.
Okay. And did you give Sergeant Jones permission to look at your location data?
Yes.
Okay. And your phone kind of extraction in general? Like to go through your phone for the data?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing else, Judge.
There it is again. I got the time now. I got the time. Okay. So somebody in the chat was like, what are we discussing? When is the trial? It's in October. But what does that mean? Jennifer then came in the building. Well, what I'm saying is, think about the significance of you're on trial. You're telling what you talked to King. King told you that was Naziah on the 14th, 15th, somewhere around there. She said right after Valentine's Day. They picked up King the day before Valentine's Day. So so in your mind, this is what I'm telling you guys. You know that this girl is gone. You were there. I mean, if you want me to believe that you were there and you say you were there, your phone pinged you were there, and then you didn't call Shannon Jones till after you talked to one of the mothers, and then you called Shannon. Shannon and you done had some conversations, and then you called Shannon Jones and said, I could have been there. I seen Naziah. Now you're on the stand, and after the prosecutors question you, you say, I love you. Yeah, that's her brother. He had to look up at her because, yeah, we know when she nodded her head at 2050, she was looking at somebody over there in the audience, and she kind of just shook her head. So she had support there, but she was looking directly at him, and she said, I love you. She said, okay, I see now. She could have saved that baby. Honey, Jennifer, you're going to have to go back and really see what we're talking about. Because, I don't know if she knew or she's a part of it, or, but the only thing you remember is that colorful jacket. You don't remember seeing her face. You walked in after her. Okay. Okay. And that was the end. You didn't say anything about they moved the car, the truck, it ran out of gas. You didn't say anything about that. But you're in court and you say, after you get done talking to them, you mouth the words, I love you. I love you. This is a person that is charged with the disappearance of Naziah, a child. If you're there for the child and you know that that person, whether it's your brother, your uncle, your mother, your father, of course, they can call you and you can tell them you love them. But you made a point to say while you're on the stand that you love him. So you do know he's charged with murdering a child. If you said you talked to, if anybody got anything that they want to say and come up here, call in or whatever, you guys can real quick. You can. I'm just saying, you guys. So Miss Love, we never said that this is new. We keep going over stuff to make sure that we didn't miss. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. The feeling of the sister on the stand telling them that she's seen her brother with Naziah. The time she's telling them that she's seen Naziah, she had on this colorful jacket, that she didn't know it at the time. You're thinking, oh, she's digging him a grave. But everybody is backing off of being responsible. which I'm not saying she's responsible for it, but I'm just saying I now have to think after seeing that. I'm just, if I'm telling on my family member, my mother, my brother, or whatever, they already know that I love them. But right now, it's not about them being okay, because they're not okay. If I seen you do something, I'm not going to sit there and try to ensure you that you're okay with how I feel about you. Of course, I know that. I mean, everybody does. Everybody gonna be like, but that's me. People, they do things differently. That's probably the. Okay, shut up. I don't care to hear that. I know that. Ain't nobody an idiot over here. I'm just saying it's just awkward that they didn't call you. You called them. Because after King got arrested, you decided, and it took you 10 days. Like, I bet you when they go to the phone and they need to ask her, okay, so when did you make the phone call, or when did the mother of his child call you? Because you definitely, after King got arrested, you were keeping up with it. You guys, let me tell you guys something. Let me share this with you guys if you guys did not know. Out of all of you probably paid attention to it, but it is very significant. And some of you be like, I knew that. Well, don't come in here telling us what you knew if you didn't share it, because over here, sharing is caring. Okay? So, looking at all the preliminary testimonies, do you guys not know that her testimony, I'm just saying, reached over 1 million views? You know why her testimony reached over 1 million? Not because that's Jarvis's sister, because it don't make sense. As she didn't ever say what happened on Valentine's Day. What she said was, remember, King went to jail on the 13th. What probably happened on Valentine's Day is the child's mother contacted her. And then they went and looked at a video on YouTube. And she knew, oh, guess what? It's got to be somebody that's connected to King and Jarvis, even if it's the baby mama, because how would they know that King got picked up? King got picked up because the very next day, she was at the shop. The very next day, she was at the shop, you guys. King said, yeah, she came to the shop. He wasn't going to offer that information. Oh, did you talk to Tawana? He was like, yeah. But he didn't say what the conversation was. But she said, yeah. And the way that she explained, it kind of contradicts a little bit of what she's saying without saying it. It was like, I told King, like she was trying to tell King something. And then she said, she didn't have to say nothing. King said, she said, I told King I never seen any other kids. I've never seen any kids up here at this shop other than my nieces and that little girl that day. That's kind of weird. Hey, King, I come to see what's going on. She said, I went to go see what's going on. And I told King, I ain't never seen no little girls up here at this shop. So she already knew that they were looking for this girl. So she said, I ain't never seen no little girl at this shop other than my nieces. But then that day, there was a kid up here. And then King gonna say, yeah, that was Naziah. That was Naziah. That's what was her whole testimony, you guys. She said, "Can you refresh my memory?" She never said what happened on the Valentine's Day. She just basically said that after she knew it was after Valentine's Day, the Thursday after Valentine's Day is when she contacted, because something happened on Valentine's Day. And it was either the conversation with the baby's mama and her. King done came back from being downtown, and she wanted to know what King has said to them, because she knows sooner or later, being King, she don't know if King said, "Hey, she was here. Jarvis' sister was here." See, he can make up anything he wants. He could have said, Jarvis' sister was here, and she parked across both of the bays, and they took the little girl. She don't know what King was going to say. But when King said that was Naziah, her head was like, oh my goodness. So that tells me, read between the lines. I'm not going to say something that you're not going to say, because I don't know if you're wired. I don't know if they're listening, but she tries to act like I went to investigate. But here's the thing, you guys. This is something I want you guys to think about. I'm thinking about it as I'm telling you, because it kind of plays out in my head. So Jarvis went to court on the 7th, and he's locked up. Jarvis is fine. He's in jail. Nobody knows where this phone is at until Jarvis calls King and say, "Hey man, get that phone. It's in the back of my old lady's vehicle." And he was like, all right, man, I got you. Yeah, bro, get that phone. So Shannon says they went get a warrant to go get the car. King said he already looked for the phone, but he couldn't find the phone. The girl that owns the car say she never did even go back up to the shop. What do you mean she never go back up to the shop? King said not only he looked for the phone, he said she came to the shop. It doesn't put doubt in nobody's mind. What it does is somebody is going to say what actually happened, and then everything is going to hit the fan, because it doesn't make sense what Tawana said. It just doesn't. You guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I really do, but I just don't believe it. She was asked if it was her niece, you would recognize her. Why wasn't she asked, do you know Naziah? Because I think that's what she was trying to do, distance herself as much as possible from Naziah. She was. Well, it opened up a door. Stephanie, you know what? And you're right. It opened up a door when she was like, you know your niece. She kind of looked at her like, why would you say something like that? Like, you don't know all his kids. Even if he told you that was King's niece, it could have been a child from a mother you don't know. But still yet, she said, you would know all your nieces. You don't know all your nieces. You don't. Tawana does not know all her nieces and nephews. You guys know that. That's too many kids. I'm not saying she's a bad aunt or whatever. I'm saying he's got so many kids. He got kids by women she ain't never met before. Do you believe that? Yes, I do. If you ask her, she got to say the same thing. She don't know all the nieces and nephews he got that she has. She don't know all the kids. When they asked her, how many kids do you know? She said 8. How many do you know personally? How many do you are familiar with or whatever? She said, I'm counting. Well, you got to say 5 of them is Shannon's. So that's only about one woman. That 5 of them is Shannon's. And she said 8. That means she only knows 3 more mothers or even less than that. If there's 13 women, girlfriends, you don't know all the kids. She doesn't know all the kids. So you didn't know if that was his own child. And maybe he didn't want to tell you or something. But he said that was King's niece. Let's just continue and look at the breakdown for a minute.
So you go to the shop where your brother works.
Nothing else, Judge.
Thanks, Chris.
Afternoon. So you go to the shop where your brother works periodically, right?
From time to time, yes.
You've been there prior to the day we've been talking about today?
Yes.
A couple times at least?
Yes.
And you'd been back there after?
Yes.
But the day we've been talking about, that's the only time you ever saw a child there?
That was the only time I saw a child I didn't recognize.
Okay, so you had seen other children there before?
Yes.
Okay. When you say that you recognize, these are who exactly?
My nieces.
And when you first arrived at the shop that day, Jarvis told you that he wasn't going to be able to work on your car?
No.
No? Did you ask him if he'd be able to?
Judge, I think this calls for hearsay. They can't admit statements of the defendant.
I'm looking more so for her own statement, actually.
For her
We'll
what?
start with her own statement.
Okay.
Did you ask him right away if he would be able to work on your car
I talked to him prior to coming to the shop.
before you arrived? You asked if he could work on your car that day?
I asked him to look at my car that day.
Okay. Did you arrive at the shop with the understanding that he would or would not be able to?
I arrived at the shop knowing that he was going to look at my car.
Okay. One moment. And was that via text or call or some other way?
Probably video call.
Okay, so a video call a little bit before you headed over?
Earlier in the day, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what time.
Okay, so that's how you decided that you'd go over later.
He told me I could come.
Judge, this is kind of all calling for hearsay in a backdoor way.
The response is hearsay. Not
Yes.
that she necessarily asked for it, but it's hearsay.
Sure, we can
Be
keep it as her own. So to be clear, we don't need to talk about what he said to you, but you did a video call to him. And in that call, you asked if he could work on your car.
You
Right.
keep saying work on my car. I said look at my car.
Okay, look at your car, but you asked him personally in a video call.
Yes.
Okay, and that was maybe that morning.
I don't remember what time of day it was, but it was before I went to him.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and as you were saying, this day, I think you said you saw some other children there at other times, but this particular child, you only ever saw this child on this particular day.
Yes.
And the whole time you were there, from your testimony and from that police interview, you said that you never saw her face.
Yes.
And then you did also see some news stories about this case.
Yes.
Yeah, in the podcast that you talked about. Right, there were some podcasts.
I had already saw her on the news, but I did not know who she was.
Sure, but that was by seeing those stories, that's how you started to think.
Well, I was thinking the podcast after some other things that was told to me. That's when I received the podcast.
So initially, between the day you were at the shop, right, and then until you started to see that news, at first you didn't make this connection that maybe she was anyone in particular.
Not at all.
And then through seeing that news, those podcasts, that's when you started to think she
No.
was.
That's not the reason why I thought that.
No, but that's the timing, or it's not?
I guess you could say that.
That's when you started to, at least when you saw those things, that's when you started to wonder.
I was wondering before I saw the podcast.
Okay. In your police interview that
You guys, she said she was already wondering before she seen the podcast. She was wondering before she seen the podcast because of your conversation with King. I'm pretty sure, you guys, I'm pretty sure after they had their conversation, it wasn't like, oh, that was Naziah. And that was the end of the conversation. She said, okay, let me get back in my car and go. I'm pretty sure they had a full conversation. You know how it works. And you guys heard her say she was in the podcast. When a person tells you they were in the podcast, it wasn't just they're here in the bushes or, they could have been in the bushes, but was she speaking in the podcast? You see what I'm saying? So she was probably in a podcast, Mark D's podcast, and probably speaking on the behalf of, what she knew. Because remember, she says the mother of his child called her and said XYZ. The police came here. They got some guns. They got some of this. They got some of that. Or, your brother called me. Whoop de whoop de woo. And then they done arrested King. And she said they done arrested King. And she's like, yeah. They done arrested King. Why they done arrested King? She already said she don't remember that particular day. So why would they arrest King? So King gets out of the interview and say they looking for Naziah. That's why they called me. I don't know if I would be able to put 2 to 2 together like that just because I was at his shop one day. But why they arrest King? So you knew before King told you what that was Naziah that was here that day you was here a whole month ago. You remember last month you came to the shop? You done been to the shop after that. You done been to the shop after that. You done been to the shop. But that particular day, yeah, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. I can't believe Naziah looked different if she hadn't seen her in a while, but I don't know. I believe that, but I don't believe that was her first time seeing Naziah at the shop. She was asked if it was her niece, you would recognize her. Yeah, exactly. So the person that had to call Tawana gotta be the woman that Jarvis is living with. It's gotta be Angel. Angel got a baby by Jarvis. Okay. Angel's got a baby by Jarvis. Huh. She the only one that would know. Well, she probably won't be the only one, but close enough to Jarvis and King to know King just got picked up. Who else would have known King just got picked up? Jarvis wouldn't have known King got picked up. King would have got out of jail or interrogated, and he shares the information with Angel. Oh yeah, they called me down there to the shop. They called me down there to the precinct, and they was asking these questions about the Naziah, and whoop de whoop de woo. They knew we picked her up, and I just told them that Jarvis was driving. Oh snap! You done told him Jarvis was driving. You done told him Naziah's at the shop on that day. Tawana gets in her car. As soon as he gets to the shop and drives up and say, "Hey, King." She says, "Hey, King, I
Jarvis had told you that that was King's niece.
Yes.
Okay. And sorry about that. What day was it that you went to the shop and saw the little girl?
Can I ask you a question? Um, I didn't remember the exact day at that time.
Yeah, I would agree with about 20, 25 feet. And you said you never got a chance to see this little girl's face.
No.
Was there anything else about her that you can remember?
I just remember her being kind of small, like outside of just seeing her get in and out of the car. When I was walking towards her, I was like, she's tiny, and I just remembered the coat.
Okay. Tiny, like in what way? Like tiny, skinny, short?
Kind of skinny and short.
Okay. And did you ever ask Jarvis who the little girl was?
Yes.
And what did he tell you?
He told me, and I can't remember if it was this exact word or he said it is my partner's niece, or he said it was King's niece.
Okay, but you knew who he was referring to?
Yes.
Okay. Did you think anything of it at the time?
No.
Okay. And what is it that made you think something? Was there a time where you thought something different?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it that made you think something different?
I received phone call, a video call from one of his kids' mom, and she told me about some things that happened on Valentine's Day, and then she sent me a video of a podcast
So that's what she said. I heard King and Tawana was involved with each other. For beating him. Yeah, say it. Okay. So that's what Leisure saying. Leisure lady. She said that, you guys. She said she received a call and again a video call. So it wasn't a text message. She video recalled one of the kids' mother called. One of the kids' mother called on Valentine's Day. That's after King got out of his interrogation or interview. So she's got the 411. King done called him and said, yeah, they arrested me yesterday, you guys. And they were asking me questions about Jarvis and this little girl and that day and da-da-da-da-da. His sister was there. So the baby mama called Tawana. The baby mama calls Tawana and say, hey, Tawana, King was arrested yesterday. He just got out. He's saying that they asking about this little girl named Naziah that's missing. What do Tawana do? She gets in her car and go up there to the shop to talk to King. What little girl? What are you talking about, a little girl? A little girl that's missing? What, they think my brother got something to do with it or something? Man, what are they talking about? She said, I was already thinking something before the podcast. What do you mean you was thinking something before the podcast? You said that you didn't think nothing of your brother or anybody in this little girl. You didn't even put two together. But you were thinking before the podcast, something's not adding up. So it have to be what the baby mama said. And I believe the baby mama is probably Angel. Angel, you guys. The woman that he lives with. So now we're looking at. So when Kim Worthy had made that statement about other people, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, you got Angel. Because remember, Jarvis' phone pinged at Angel's house right after they came back from Islani. And then you got Tawana that says she's seen the child before they went to Islani. And you got King that said that he was with Jarvis when they drove back the red Jag. And then you got Talacia Moore, who lives in Islani. Kim Worthy said there was other people that Jarvis is around that they were going to charge. I believe not only wasn't someone saying something about a sister in that podcast? I could be. I wasn't in the podcast, Stephanie. But when they extract the phones, you might as well come out and say what you done did, what you done looked at, you done been on your phone, you were in the podcasters. What did you say when you was in the podcast? She probably said some things in the podcast. She probably said some things while she was in that podcast. But even if she didn't say anything, they know that she was in a podcast in the bushes. That's why people be thinking they be doing something when they part of something like Shannon and her sister Marquita and then the whole entire family. You got Janelle and Kenya and Kawita, whatever, they be all in these podcasts changing their name thinking that they're doing something. They're putting themselves in a, just because they're there. The only way that they do not know who that person is in a podcast is you would literally have to go on somebody else's phone, make an account, or go to the library or something, use a device that's not yours or whatever, and make a account, But once they extract your information off of your phone, they can follow you. They know exactly what is your account, what is your number. People come in here and they hide. They'll be like, one day their name be Stephanie Harding. The next day their name is such such. Or Stephanie may have a podcast. I don't know. I'm just using you as an example. But anyway, you guys, I just wanted you guys to know that is what I've been thinking about. And it's just, it's crazy. And I didn't feel this way until I did see her. I'm just being honest. I'm telling you guys, I didn't believe. I mean, I really didn't even want to bring it out, but it just does something to me when I heard her mouth say, I love you. Not saying she doesn't love her brother. Evidently she does. But you're on the stand and you're telling them that you've seen this and you've seen that. The little girl walked to the store. You never seen her face. So you're really not trying to really get your brother. She said, I'm talking about when they were in the kitchen. I'm talking about when they were in the kitchen. When who was in the kitchen? Stephanie? In the kitchen? What is Stephanie talking about? Oh, was someone saying something about a sister in the podcast? I could be wrong. Oh, when they was in the bedroom talking on the phones, and then they all went to the kitchen and everything. Is that what you're talking about, Stephanie? When Marquita and Shannon was sitting on the bed and Mark D came in there and was like, woo, 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 woo. Huh? See, I don't know what you're talking about because I don't know the date when that podcast went out. You know what I mean? I don't know when that happened, so I couldn't speak on it. I wasn't in the podcast when it happened. I had to see a replay. But yeah. Anyway, she said, I know. Yeah. I don't know. Did somebody say something about that? Because, I believe that all of them be in these podcasts and these channels, and they listen in, they want to hear what people say. I'm not trying to put any negative on anybody, but I'm just saying it looks weird, it looks odd. And then the sad thing about the whole situation, like I said, the one thing I couldn't understand is, let me go back and show you guys one other thing. So when the sister right here,
in front of the, yeah.
right here,
Ms. Books, do you
when the sister was talking about how she was parked. It's just strange to me. Watch and pay attention. Remember, she's got a car. Jarvis got a truck. Her car sits low. The truck sits high. She's parked right in front, like a T in front of the shop, blocking both bays, and his truck is set in front of her car.
Recognize what is it we're looking at? People Exhibit 7.
Yeah,
Okay, what is that?
that is the shop
Okay.
right in the middle.
And where at were you parked when you saw someone getting in and out of Jarvis's truck?
In front of the car doors of the garage right here, I was parked facing, I don't know what direction it is, but going towards garage. I was like in front, but outside.
Okay, so you were kind of parked.
I just want to ask one question. So normally people do not park in front of an exit where people got to get their cars and or they got the car fixed and they're ready to go. And she was making it seem like he was busy. He was doing all kind of stuff. He was busy. Yeah, they was working on a Jag. The Jag was, maybe they needed to bring the Jag in and out. Maybe they didn't bring the Jag in and out. But there's 2 bays. But she said she was parked right across both bay doors. Now, you guys, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off of here. I don't know nobody in the world that parks across a person's business where they're blocking people from seeing inside of the bays. I mean, just think about it. If you went to Jiffy Lube to have somebody look at your car, they're not going to let you park right across both of the bays. They're not going to let you do it. They're going to say, "Man, move your car to the side. Man, there's all this parking over here on the side, over there by that locked fence. Move your car." Why would you park in front of both bays like that? You don't park where your car is headed to go in one of the bays. You are parked right across the front where people driving around thinking, okay, here's the thing, and I'm just going to keep it real. Normally when people park like that, and I'm saying what other people ain't saying. They are usually hiding and don't want somebody to know or see what's going on the inside. When I don't want somebody to know that I'm bringing this in or taking that out or whatever, I park across so you cannot see. I even actually planted a tree. We didn't already cut it down, but I actually I planted a tree right in front of my door down next to the curve. Why? I don't want people to drive by and look in my house. You can see my house, but I don't want you to look inside my house. So that's the only reason why I block your view. A business don't allow people to block the view of the business. I mean, do that make sense? I just want to know. Hey, Deborah Owens, how you doing? Hey, Tina Powers, I seen you in here. Why would a person let you block the view? Y'all not seeing what I'm seeing. I just don't understand it. And a person can't even get mad at me because, like I said, what I'm saying makes sense. She said she parked right in front of both doors. Remember, this is a shop that don't have where you can drive straight through the bay. You got to pull in the bay, get your car fixed, and then you got to pull out the bay. Remember her testimony. I'm going to go over it for my own likings, but you guys, whatever.
Parallel with the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you draw a T where your truck was?
My car?
Yeah, your car was.
That is the shop
Okay.
right in the middle.
And where at were you parked when you saw someone getting in and out of Jarvis's truck?
In front of the car doors of the garage right here, I was parked facing, I don't know what direction it is, but going towards garage. I was like in front, but outside.
Okay, so you were kind of parked parallel with the road?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you draw a T where your truck was?
My car?
Yeah, your car was.
Can I?
Yes. And then put an arrow the way you were facing. And where is it where that Jarvis's truck was? Just put a J where Jarvis's truck was. And what way was his truck facing?
It was facing my direction, so the front was
Towards you. Okay, so put an arrow for that direction.
Did you guys hear her say his truck was facing her car? Lewis says this is her brother's business, so I can't say she would not park like that. It's her brother. Well, to each their own, but her car was parked and his truck was facing her car. So how is people getting in and getting out? She said that only one vehicle came in. One guy came up and she don't know what he was driving or whatever. She moved her car once. You know, so crazy. She said in Detroit, this would not be out of the norm. Yeah. Well, it's in every state. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. We know it's possible. But is it reasonable for someone to park like that while they're there for 2.5 hours? That's the question. She was there for 2.5 hours, and she only moved her car once and moved it right back. I'm just saying. Anyway, you guys, you know, there's always going to be a possibility, but you know, she said fair no, especially because they were at odds with each other. What do you mean at odds with each other? Why would you think they're at odds with each other? Why would they be at odds with each other? They wasn't at odds with each other when she wanted their car fixed. I mean, I wouldn't fix somebody's car. Shoot, I'm mad at you. Don't come here and then be like, yeah, she said, my brother got to make his money. You wasn't too worried about making his money if you blocking the interest. Oh, no. Don't she say they were, well, on the stand? She was talking about when the grandmother passed away. They asked her, did they have some issues about when the grandmother passed away? Like, did they have a problem? Did they have some static in the relationship? Like, was she still angry about when the grandmother passed away with him? You guys, Yeah, and it, it's just like anybody when a parent, just like my mother passed away. I mean, I love my brothers, I like them and everything, but I'm not gonna go park in front of their garage and block their business. But I want you to fix my car. But I got a problem with you because mama passed away. I mean, that the question was asked like, you can still live on and have a relationship with your loved ones even after they acted a fool after mama, grandma passed away. But no, she parked there and said that the truck was parked in front of her car. They couldn't have been at odds that much if she was there for yeah. Yeah, she couldn't, And we're just talking about the same things that has been put out there in the preliminary, you guys, because like I said, this is the main things that I go over in my head. And even though everybody loves to say about the possibility, they always give people the possibility. Well, she could still have some anger in her heart, SP. I know that. But common sense tells us that you can have anger in your heart, but you're not going to be showing all that anger when you want your car to be looked at. And she made sure she let the prosecutors know, you keep saying work on my car. I said, look at my car. And every time when she communicated with the baby mama, his baby's mama, and Jarvis, they did FaceTime. They didn't do no texting. They didn't call each other up, stay on the phone. They did FaceTime. And I do believe something has happened to Naziah, because the reason why now I believe, like I've been believing something has happened, could have happened. It's a possibility. Because see, people don't know what's all on cameras. So when you know that there are cameras on the lights, cameras on the you don't know what they have and what they're saying that they don't have. You don't know. They didn't show us everything. So you might as well tell the truth, because if you sit there and tell us a lie, it's easier for you to tell us the truth and make us think that you just don't have common sense to park in in the open area on the side where other people can come in and they can just look at your car. But to park in front of both doors, you guys, think about what I'm saying. I'm gonna get off of here. I've been on here too long. I just wanted to share my thoughts. I've been up since 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. My girlfriend told me, she said, don't be calling me that early in the morning talking about Naziah, girl. She said, no, do not do that. And I have to wait for people to get up. I do, because I be on it. I don't know why, but I cannot. And the thing about it, we know Jarvis is going to go to prison. We do know that. And it's not really on Naziah he's going to prison on. I mean, misconduct, yeah, but what's really damaging is where these other 2 females have came up and said, me too. That's what's going to put the nail in the coffin. And I thank God that, these other 2 young ladies, babies, and now one of them is, 20 years old, have said something. So I don't feel like Naziah's not going to get justice. But I do feel like, we should still look for her, because I mean, when you have a loved one and you can't, you just don't know the end of their life, like how did this happen, or what happened, or they literally are not somewhere, um just, you know what I mean, like, don't take my loved one and you can just take them to the woods and just cut them up and put them in a shallow grave, and I'm just not gonna look for them. I mean, you know what I mean, you guys. Like, I mean, at least we can do is try to find her. She matters, everybody. Black Lives Matter, this matter, that matter. Yeah, kids matter too. Naziah matter. And it ain't my kid, but I'm just saying. Um, I'm not blaming nobody. I'm not blaming. I could be totally wrong. It's just everybody is responsible. Everybody is someone we look at. And, if somebody really wanted to do the right thing, the really right thing is write Jarvis a letter and ask him to tell. You can say you love him. Write him a letter and tell him to tell the truth. Do that. If you want to do the right thing, if you really believe that he did something to Naziah, that's the right thing. That way, we ain't even got to go through all the riff-raff. Just go ahead, tell him to do the right thing, tell the truth. Because I have a problem with people saying they're doing the right thing, but they don't completely do the right thing. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like, you cannot really do the right thing unless you do 100% the right thing. When you turn your life around, it ain't no half of your leg is over here being protective and half your leg is over here trying to say you're doing the right thing. When you do the right thing, you both feed in. God do not like no lukewarm Christian. You either gonna completely do the right thing, especially if you're making a change. When you're making a change, say what your yeses is your yeses and your noes is your noes. And yeah, you can love somebody that done something wrong. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't love your brother and let him know that you love him. But how you gonna sit there and say you love him, but you crying over here for Naziah? But I love you, bro, but I'm crying over here because you're on there and you got to tell. You're supposed to be allegedly telling everybody your truth. And you know what? I just know that they would not let her tell everything. And she did say, I give her props for that. She did say, if you want me to tell you, I will tell you. And they was like, no, 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 no. We got to go have this big old discussion in the back and everybody needs to come in agreement. We don't want her to let the cat out the bag right now. There's something that she knows, and I'm going to say it again. We said it before, that they did not want her to say on that stand at this particular time. Anytime when they go back and discuss some stuff and they come back 5-10 minutes later and they change the whole conversation, trust and believe, she said, if you guys want me to tell you, I will tell you. She did not know what they were going to come back and ask her what she has to say. Now, was she crying? She was crying, though. She was crying. Was she crying because of what she knows? Or was she crying because she has to say in front of everybody what was told to her? Because remember, they asked her when she came back, is it something you know? Or is it something somebody told you? And then they say, did Jarvis tell you? And she said, no, Jarvis didn't tell me. So was it something you know or something somebody told you? She said it was something somebody told her. That's what she said. And I'm going to go to that and then we're going to get off of here. Let me find it.
That it was a possibility I was there. And I didn't want to get into detail as far as what I knew before the podcast. But if you would like, I would explain to you why I thought these things.
You got
It's up to you.
Can we approach? Yes.
For the most part.
And were there some events
I'm gonna back
surrounding
up.
her death that related to your relationship with Jarvis that impacted some things?
No.
Oh, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Butts, you said that there was another reason. There was a different reason that you thought that it was Naziah that you had saw that day. When you were starting to compile, or when you talked to Shannon Harris, and then you got the podcast. Before that, you said there was other reasons why you had thought that was Naziah.
So, am I?
Yes.
Can I speak for
What is
okay,
that? Yes.
So, at the time, I didn't know. Once I realized that it was a possibility that I saw her, there were several reasons that led me to believe that it was a possibility I was there. And I didn't want to get into detail as far as what I knew before the podcast. But if you would like, I would explain to you why.
Okay. She said before the podcast, she believed before the podcast. Okay. Before the podcast, she talked to the baby mama and she talked to King. No. She had not talked to King yet. She talked to let me go back.
Grandmother?
For the most part.
And were there some events surrounding her death that related to your relationship with Jarvis that impacted some things?
No.
Oh, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Butts, you said that there was another reason. There was a different reason that you thought that it was Naziah that you had saw that day. When you were starting to compile, or when you talked to Shannon Harris, and then you got the podcast. Before that, you said there was other reasons why you had thought that was Naziah.
So, am I?
Yes,
Can I
what,
speak for?
what is
Okay,
that? Yes.
so, um, at the time, I didn't know. Once I realized that it was a possibility that I saw her, there were several reasons that led me to believe that it was a possibility I was there. And I didn't want to get into detail as far as what I knew before the podcast. But if you would like, I would explain to you why.
Okay, you guys, did you guys understand that? Did you guys understand that she's saying before the podcast and talking to Shannon, she believes she saw her. But if you want me to explain that, da 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 da. Let me go back over it one more time, real quick.
Oh,
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Butts, you said that there was another reason, there's a different reason that you thought that it was Naziah that you had saw that day. When you were starting to compile, or when you talked to Shannon Harris, and then you got the podcast. Before that, you said there was other reasons why you had thought that was Naziah.
so am I?
Yes.
Can I speak for?
What is
Okay,
that? Yes.
so at the time, I didn't know. Once I realized that it was a possibility that I saw her, there were several reasons that led me to believe that it was a possibility I was there. And I didn't want to get into detail as far as what I knew before the podcast. But if you would like, I would explain to you why I thought these things.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Can we approach? Yes.
So you guys, what I'm trying to see here is they asked her that question. What is it that made you believe that, what made you believe that your brother was connected to Naziah and this, that, and the other, whatever? They asked her that question. She did not want to answer the question. She came back with, well, I didn't know that I seen her. I didn't know that was her. Before the podcast, the reason why I thought these things is because if you want me to tell you, I will. Well, they just asked you. Why did you not tell them? What do you mean? You asking them, they asked you the question. That's like if I asked you guys, do you want a piece of pie? You're going to ask me, well, if I wanted a piece of pie, only if you ask me. I already asked you. So now why are you not trying to say what it was? She waited for them to object. She did not want to say why she thought whatever it was that she thought. You can't make this up. It's called deflecting. When people answered the question with a question. She never answered the question. She said, hey, the reason why I thought I saw what I thought I didn't know is If you want me to tell you why before the podcast, I will tell you. Objection, Your Honor. Oh my goodness. No, pay attention. Pay attention. We'll look at it again.
When you were starting to compile, or when you talked to Shannon Harris, and then you got the podcast. Before that, you said there was other reasons why you had thought that was Naziah.
So, am I?
Yes.
Can I speak for?
What is
Okay,
that? Yes.
so, at the time, I didn't know. Once I realized that it was a possibility that I saw her, there were several reasons that led me to believe that it was a possibility I was there. And I didn't want to get into detail as far as what I knew before the podcast. But if you would like, I would explain to you why I thought these things.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Can we approach? Yes. We'll be right back. Go in the hallway. You need some water or something? Can you get some water from there? Can you get her some water? Oh, yeah. Please. Calm down. Calm down. It's gonna be all right. Huh? Take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. Thank you. That's all right.
need to do some more?
No, just it.
Okay.
I got like 2 more items.
Okay, we are back on the record. Ms. Butts, you are still under oath. Ms. Ripley, go right ahead.
Thank you. So, Ms. Butts, what's the sources of these reasons that you have? Are these things that you know from your personal knowledge? Are these things that you observe yourself?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Repeat that.
So these reasons that you were thinking of, what are the sources of them? Is it somebody told you something? Is it something that you saw yourself, you observed, or a coupling of that?
I would say a bit of both.
Okay.
Things that I was told and things that I heard.
Okay. Were there heard from Jarvis?
No,
Okay. Were these things that you had already known prior
prior to.
to thinking that was Naziah that you saw?
I'm sorry, I'm confused on the question.
So are these things the sources that you have for these reasons? Are they like things that you have personal knowledge of, or are they things that somebody told you about?
These were things that I was told. I'm trying to understand the question that you're asking me.
Ms. Ripley, you're referring to the question before we went into sidebar about her leading up to believing that it was possibly Naziah Harris at the shop, correct?
Yes.
Does that help clarify
Okay.
the line of questioning?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So those reasons, those things, are those things that you had known before? Are they based on your observations, or?
Well, these were things that I was told. And after asking the questions that I needed to ask, I came up with the conclusion that it was a possibility that Naziah was the little girl that I saw that day.
Thank you. You said that when you were parked at Jarvis's shop, that it was getting dark out.
Yes.
Okay. That darkness, is that maybe the reason why the color on the jacket stood out?
Well, the jacket didn't stand out until I was walking into the gas station behind her because I wasn't really like paying attention to what she had on. I just kept seeing her get in and out of the truck, going in the gas station and coming back to the truck. And that's what caught my attention.
Okay, so the movement is what attracted you to it at first.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I was just reading the messages. Stephanie says, I had suggested it in your chat a little while back and you called it the other day. You said they were moving while she was at the shop. Exactly. They were. She said the little girl got in and out the truck, and I literally put myself in a car sitting horizontal to the shop in front of the doors. Or would you say, would that be horizontal or parallel? Horizontal to the shop. In front of Jarvis's car. And some child is getting in and out the car, in and out the car, in and out the car, in and out the car. And you're parked where nobody can get in the shop unless they ask you to move. They only ask you to move once. And she said her brother asked her to move the car for somebody to get in. And that's when a guy came, and she couldn't remember what kind of car he had or whatever. I'm going to tell you guys, and I just hoping it opens the Pandora box that we heard everybody's testimony. And I hope somebody get tripped up in their testimony. You know, I pray that the sister doesn't have anything to do with this. But when we look at a case, nobody's exempt. Nobody's exempt. I mean, not blaming anybody because we don't know the details. But when you have so many things that does not make sense, it's just those are weighing factors. You know, it's just like if you went to the store and the store got robbed, but you got a gun and you was there, they drove the same kind of car you drove, they wore the same thing. It's not a coincidence that they drove the same car you drove, they wore the same clothes, they were the same build, the same color of a complexion, down to the shoes, but it's just a coincidence. And some people be like, it could have happened, SP. It could have happened that way. Why? Not everybody, and I'd be like, okay. Some people, you can talk to lay people like that. And when I say lay people, like people that just don't really cover crime stories or missing persons or stuff. But when you're talking to somebody that's got, way more time into it, like they were, that was their second job, is being a detective. That was their second job, being a cop. That was their second job, being the founder of, listening over and over. Like I say, you guys, we've been on here for 3 hours, but hold on. What's going on, Diesel?
Come on. Diesel.
Hold on.
Hey, go downstairs now. Dig, go. 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 Get in your kennel. Come on. Come on.
Okay, you guys, I got to get off of here. I got company. Diesel's done went crazy. Okay, let me go deal with this. Man.